Try it like it created. Today we're going to be working on stenciling. And to begin, I'm going to create a background using watercolor. And I am just wetting down my watercolors. And I'm going to grab a few colors and put them on my glass mat. And let them just kind of spread out. And then we're going to pick them up with our tag. So let those bleed and dip into them. I think I might have used the wrong side. It already had some writing on it. It's okay. I'm just going to go with it. All right, so I'm going to pick up color. And just create a background to begin with. All right, it looks like I have a little bit of glue maybe that's resisting color. We can move on from here. All right, so there's what we have to begin with, and I'm going to go ahead and dry this and then come back. All right, so I have gone ahead and taped my stencil down onto my dry tag, and I am just using damp but dirty baby wipe, and I'm going to pick up some color, watercolor. I'll show you that I have off to the side here. I've mixed with water, and I'm going to go through and work on applying it with my stencil. All right, and now I'm going to have to get more. And let's see if I can move you over a little bit. There you go. So you can kind of see what I have going on over here. And then I'm spritzing it with water just to make sure that it stays fluid for me. And you can apply this a lot of different ways. I am using a baby wipe. This could work with stamp pads and stencil brushes. Whoops. And our tag moved on us. All right. So if you had one of those sticky grids, that would really work well for this process. All right. And then I'm going to lay a stencil on top of this stencil. All right. And I am just going to use some tape here to hold it down. So you can now see where, excuse me, having a sticky grid could be very useful for this. And now I'm going to go in and grab, I think I want to do some, like a darker blue color. And I think, I know I've got watercolor down here, but I'm going to go ahead and use this high viscosity studio acrylic because it's a metallic, so I could definitely go into a, oh, I can't get it open. I could go into a metallic watercolor, but this is new to me, and I thought this could be a really fun color to put on top here. So it is thick, so I'm gonna have to break it down with a lot of water. I know I'm off screen right now, and that is what I'm doing over here to the side. See if I can get you over there. Okay, so I have my paint on my glass mat, and I'm just mixing it in with the water. And I'm going to go in and pick it up with my dirty baby wipe. Use it as a pouncer. And go right back on top of my stencils again. Not quite as dark as I thought it would be. And you can see here with this technique, we're going to want a pretty heavy-bodied paper that can handle multiple layers of being wet. So, just a little more paint. And this time I'm not going to break it down. I'm just going to dab into it and do more of a tapping technique. I'm really looking forward to the reveal on this because we've got layer of color on top of layer of color with stencil on top of stencil. Now I've used colors that are all similar or near each other on the color wheel, so that also helps. All right, so I'm gonna grab a dry tissue here and just kind of go over the top of my stencils to clean off a little bit. And now let's start our reveal and see what we have. So first layer stencil off. And then our second layer. And because we're using watercolor, we're going to get a watery look to this. Now, of course, if we used ink pads and blending brushes, these would be more, excuse me, crisp looking color. So we started out with watercolor. All right, so what I have in front of me here is our finished tag that's dry. And that paint that I used is iridescent. And when you turn it in the light, hopefully you're getting this, you're seeing it's like a blue iridescent, but when it's not, it's kind of a muddy gray. And that is the nature of the color, and it's by Pibio Studio Acrylics, high viscosity, and this is Blue Noir Iridescent. So that, you can see it maybe in the tube that it's got this kind of bluish shift to it. And that's what we see on their tag. And it is a very busy tag, but what I would like to do is add some tissue paper over the top. I think I'm going to use Mod Podge because I was trying to determine what would work best to hold this down in place and not really move our color around too much for us. And then I'm going to put this butterfly on top, this dimensional butterfly that I think kind of relates, and I think we might go at an angle. So I've got some matte Mod Podge, and I'm gonna go into it with my brush and apply it over the background. Put my tissue down and go over the tissue as well. I may have too much Mod Podge here. That's okay. I can pick it up. All right, and then I want to dry that, and then we'll hear the butterfly. Mod Podge is just about dry, and I used a matte, and so even though it looks a little glossy still, it is a matte application. And so now I'm just putting glue. I could use the Mod Podge. I wasn't sure how sturdy or how secure a seal it would give me for this dimensional piece, so I am going to go ahead and use my tacky glue on it. And just put this butterfly down, and it has layers and dimension to it. And so with the tissue paper in the background, we can see the pattern through, but it kind of dulls it a little bit so we can focus in on the butterfly some. So that is our stencil on stencil technique for this week. I liked it with the paint. I think I'm going to try it next with using stamp pads and blending brushes and see if we get a crisper image. I know we're going to get a different look to it than what we had here because we started out with watercolor and we applied more watercolor over the top. And then our iridescent paint, which could have been watercolor. It was an acrylic based, but I just wanted to shift out the color there. So that is our tag and technique for this week. Hope you enjoyed it.